Good morning, beautiful family. I hope you're great this morning. I thought we should do, a quick morning devotion. I wasn't planning on doing this, but the topic that we've been speaking about the mind, it's been sort of, playing in my mind, and so I started thinking about a couple of things, and just bear with me a couple of, minutes or so. And then we will pray, and this will be our morning devotion. So in the book of Matthew chapter 22, I believe it's verse 37, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Jesus says something very interesting. He says we should love God with all our heart, right, which is fine, all our soul, which is fine, and lastly, but he said, and with all your mind. So it is not just enough to love God, in your subconscious state, which is perfect. I mean, this is where the love of God comes from, like your subconscious state, your heart, your soul. But Jesus says it's also important to love God in your mind, and so this got me to be thinking. The mind is so critical in our relationship with God, and that is why our mind, is always attacked. If, for example, you are looking at mind-altering substances, whether it be weed, Zol, alcohol, so many things. There are so many things that are, the mind is under attack, if I can just simply put it that way. Our minds are under attack. Why? Because the devil knows if he can attack our minds. Yes, we can love God in our heart and in our souls, but consciously, our minds are going to be attacked. You understand what I'm saying? And so the enemy will do everything to disturb the mind, to distort the mind. Sometimes it could be drugs, sometimes, like I'm saying, it's alcohol, and sometimes it's activities, for example, that people are not even aware that they affect the mind. Activities that open up the spirit channels to attacking the mind. And it's very strange because, I know I've spoken about weed before, that weed opens up portals, straight into your spirit. And that is why many people, when they smoke weed, they feel like, they are getting answers that they've been looking for, and this calm and things like that. But that is just an illusion, remember, because you've opened up the spiritual portals. It's so easy to get, possessed after smoking weed, and I could go on like that, and I'm not going to get into it. And a lot of people that are also attacked mentally, they are not even aware, are people that are practicing yoga and so forth. So yoga, there's this thing where they line up the chakras and so forth like that. What's basically happening is that, they are, you basically are lining up your spirit and opening up your portals. And so eventually your minds get attacked. I know people, that started doing yoga, but right now they can't pray. They simply cannot pray. You must read all these testimonies. You can't pray after doing yoga for a while. It's like something else takes over. You simply cannot pray, and so those are the things that attack the mind. So whilst you are guarding your heart, while you are guarding your soul, also guard your mind. You know what I'm saying? Guard your mind, because your mind is very critical in serving God. I always want to stay alert. I always want to stay sober-minded. Be sober-minded. Be alert. You understand what I'm saying? Because an intoxicated mind, a mind that is under hallucinations from drugs and so forth like that, you cannot love the Lord under such, such a mind. And that is why the Bible says, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of what? Of a sound mind. So a sound mind is not just an automatic thing. No, we have to maintain and pray that God grant us a sound mind, and and I think that would be our lesson for today. We're still going to continue with the mind. The mind is very broad. It's very, it's a very large subject. And and I believe when we are done with the mind series, we are going to be highly, impactful and, empowered people. May the Lord bless you. May He keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you. Until we meet, I believe tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, Friday evening. Bless you. Bye.